Hello and welcome back to Something About Science. Today we're talking about ELRIG Drug Discovery 2024, Europe's largest conference for the drug discovery community. In this episode, I had the pleasure of chatting with Melanie Leveridge, Chair of the ELRIG Board, who shared all the key highlights for this year's event. Before we hear from Melanie, here's what you need to know about Drug Discovery 2024. It's happening on the 2nd and 3rd of October at the ExCeL in London, and it's completely free to attend. No hidden fees, no memberships. You'll have the opportunity to experience 15 scientific tracks, see 200 exhibitors and connect with over 2,000 delegates. Plus, there are 400 posters and tons of networking opportunities. If you're an early career professional, there's plenty for you too. Awards, career zones and networking events to help you get ahead. Make sure to register now using the link in our show notes. And now, let's hear from Melanie. Well, we've got Melanie Leveridge with us here today. It's great to have you with us, Melanie, on a Something About Science podcast. Just to kick us off, please could you introduce yourself and share a bit about your role at ELRIG?
Sure, it's great to be here, Danielle. So, my name's Mel Leveridge. My day job, I'm Vice President of Discovery Biology at AstraZeneca, based in Cambridge in the UK. But in terms of ELRIG, I've been involved with ELRIG for as long as I can remember, really. I've served on the board since 2017, and I'm currently serving as chair of the board, which is a role I've had since 2020.
Yeah, perfect. And ELRIG's flagship event is Drug Discovery. And it's the biggest conference for drug discovery in that community in Europe. But how did it become such a big event? And what are some of the key milestones that have made drug discovery such a successful event?
Yeah, as you say, Drug Discovery is really our flagship event at ELRIG. It's really grown with ELRIG's community and the science as the science in the community has evolved. So as we've been exploring more diversity in terms of modalities, in terms of different technologies and application of those technologies, as that's grown, the ELRIG conference has grown with it. We're a volunteer-led organisation, so all of the meeting content is designed from ELRIG's volunteer community for that community. So really that team are the drivers of the content that we see at the meetings. And really we've just continued to broaden the delegate base, the different types of vendors that we have in the exhibition. And so the meetings just grown really organically from there. A couple of maybe more specific milestones along the way. We chose in 2016 to hold the event in London at London's ExCeL for the first time. So that was a much bigger venue than we had previously. And so that gave us the opportunity to expand the meeting, but also I think to attract delegates from across Europe with that London location. And over the years, we've also grown the operations team, who are the kind of driving force in ELRIG, working with the volunteers. And as that team's grown, again, we've been able to put on more and more content. We alternate the meeting between the north and south of the UK, again, trying to make sure that we capture the breadth of the community and reach out to as many kind of delegates as we can. And all of our meetings are free to attend. And I think that's helped the volunteer community want ELRIG to succeed because it's free to attend. And so that's really helped us grow the meeting as well.
Yeah, and in the time that drug discovery has been an event, how has the drug discovery field evolved over those years? And what has ELRIG done to keep up with those changes?
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting journey, really. So ELRIG started out really as a lab automation and robotics user group community. And of course, robotics and automation is still very much a core of the ELRIG community and a core in the meetings as well. An important part of what we do in early drug discovery is using robotics and automation. But actually, the events have really grown and diversified hugely from that original starting point. So the science that we showcase at the meetings is much more diverse, and it's really representative of a whole range of different scientific disciplines that really come together and collaborate in drug discovery. So both biology and chemistry now represented, and that whole kind of drug discovery process from target identification and validation through lead discovery and then on into lead optimization. We include content on really a broad range of modalities that are now kind of a key part of discovery. So from Small molecule focus is really where we started, and we still have content around small molecules and chemistry, but we also have content on, antibody therapeutics or cell and gene therapies, for example. We've got a track this year on cell and gene therapy. So I guess all that to say, whilst there is still a really core focus on the technologies and the automation, we've really broadened out and captured the diversity of science and technology that's happening in the community.
Yeah. And going forward, something that's really trending at the moment is artificial intelligence, especially in science and tech. How is AI shaking up drug discovery in particular, and how is this showing up in the agenda for Drug Discovery 2024?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as you say, AI, absolutely is, and I think will continue to have a huge impact on the science that we prosecute, but also on us as scientists ourselves and how we conduct our work. So, it's enabling us to analyse and interpret data just on a scale that we could never have contemplated before. And that means we can design experiments with a much, much more data-rich output than we could before. Things like multi-omics experiments, complex imaging experiments, and so on. We've got machine learning models that can be used to help us predict, which molecules to make, what the properties of those molecules might be. And, of course, tools like AlphaFold 3, which everyone's, talking about, that, can help us predict protein structures and those biomolecular interactions. So all of that really helps us as scientists to accelerate what we do and also to design experiments in a more considered way. And then, in terms of scientists and how we do our jobs, obviously things like the generative AI tools can help us get the job done more easily and more efficiently. So overall, it's a really exciting time from that point of view. And the ELRIG content really kind of mirrors that advance that we're seeing in the labs and for the scientists. So actually this year we held a one-day forum that was dedicated to AI and drug discovery here at the AstraZeneca site in Cambridge. And that was a hugely popular event. And Drug Discovery, we've also got a track in the tech theatre focused on the interplay between robotics and AI, so bringing that kind of automation and robotics theme and then coupling it with how AI is being used in that area. But in addition to that track, there's going to be AI content really throughout the meeting. So, for example, we've got an imaging track, and no doubt there'll be a lot of content on AI and image analytics in that track. We've got, chemistry tracks where there'll be talks around, AI-led chemical synthesis and so on. So it's really now kind of feeded throughout the meeting content, and certainly will be a hot topic, I think, this year.
Definitely. It sounds like AI is really, a key player in the future of drug discovery. Another key player in the future of drug discovery are the next generation of scientists. We've got students, early career professionals. What do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities for them, and how is ELRIG helping them get ready for those new roles?
Yeah, sure. I mean, talking about AI, AI is here now, and not just for ECPs, but of course for that group of scientists as well, but actually for every scientist, and so really it's getting to the point where it's not optional to think about how you use AI in your work, but it's really an integral part of everything that we're doing. So whether that's ECPs or others of us who are no longer ECPs, we really need to kind of think about upskilling in the tools that we're using, the way we're working, and really embracing the new capabilities and technologies like AI. And where ELRIG events can help is really for our ECP community, but all of us, to be honest, to learn from each other. So to hear what colleagues in related industries or from across industry, academia, or how they're using those tools, and hear about that kind of best practice, sharing ideas and fostering collaborations and just learning from one another, really, and kind of helping each other on that journey to adopt these new ways of working.
Definitely. And we can't talk about the future without talking about sustainability. What role does sustainability play in drug discovery, and how is ELRIG sort of leading the change here?
Yeah, sure. So, I think it's incredibly important that we consider sustainability in everything we do in drug discovery. Certainly, in day job, but AstraZeneca, we're really embedding sustainability in absolutely everything we do, and really want to drive sustainability at the heart of our work. And that really aligns incredibly well with ELRIG's sustainability goals as well. And sustainability is something that we're starting to talk more and more about within ELRIG. And actually this year, for the first time, we kicked off a work group focused on sustainability. And that's formed, as all our work groups are, from volunteers across the community. And so they're going to start thinking about how ELRIG can drive a sustainability conversation through our meetings and bring people together to talk about sustainability and science. And I'm really happy that at Drug Discovery this year, and actually we also had this last year, we have a dedicated track in the Tech Theatre, and it's hosted by my colleague Kelly Gray from AstraZeneca, together with James Connolly from My Green Lab. And that track's really going to talk about how we embed sustainability in science, and not just talk about it, but really embed it in everything that we do. And the work group more broadly, as well as thinking about content in the meetings, the work group's also looking at how we can make ELRIG events themselves more sustainable. Obviously, we also have a sustainability footprint, and we need to think about how we minimise that. And I'm really excited. It's early days for that group, but I'm really excited to see what ideas they come up with, and we'll absolutely start to implement those, as in the very near future.
Yeah. And just out of interest, what are some of the key elements of sustainability in drug discovery in the science, that is?
I think it's all sorts. So from how can we reduce plastic use in the labs? That a lot, My Green Lab conversations is, how we work in the lab and making that more sustainable. But then, more broadly, how we, in the buildings that we work in, from an ELRIG perspective, things like how do we minimise waste at our events, be that food waste or plastic waste. So all sorts of different aspects of sustainability that we can think about.
Yeah, definitely. And looking forward to the actual flagship event in London this year. What are you most looking forward to?
It's always, I always get asked this question, it's always really hard to pick a single thing that I'm looking forward to, because there's so much going on at the meeting. So this year we've got eight tracks of science, plus our two tech theatre tracks. And as always, there'll also be a really large vendor exhibition, lots of posters to explore, workshops and so on. So my dodging the question answer is I'm looking forward to all of that. But I think probably if I had to pick one thing, it would be the networking opportunities. Drug discovery meetings always a fantastic opportunity to reconnect with old colleagues, but also to make new connections, whether that's with individuals working across industry, academia, with the new vendors, thinking about new technologies that are on offer. So really just that networking, bringing everyone together, learning about what others are doing, and hopefully fostering some collaborations as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking the 2 days out of the day job and immersing myself in that scientific content and having that quality time really to talk to colleagues and collaborators, which is absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, I have to agree. I myself will be attending, and that's what I'll be looking forward to the most, as well as getting to talk to people that you wouldn't ordinarily get to talk to. It's invaluable. Little fun one to end on. If you could choose one breakthrough or technology in drug discovery that really gets you excited and optimistic about the future, what would it be and why?
I think we've probably already touched on it, and well, maybe two aspects of it, and that is AI and AI coupled to automation. So I think bringing AI and automation together, certainly in early discovery, will give us the opportunity to scale biology and to interrogate data and predict the outcome of experiments in a way that we've just not been able to do in the past. And ultimately, we're all here to try to get medicines to patients faster. And I think, those technologies combined are a way that we're going to be able to do that. So.
Perfect. Well, we've reached the end of our questions, so that's everything for today. So thank you, Melanie, for joining us, and stay tuned for more information on Drug Discovery 2024.